Hey, what's up, coaches? Dave Bishop here one more time for RTDB Run the Damn Ball. Today, we've got special guest coach Bob Christmas. Coach has won 2 state championships in the state of Virginia, as well as a runner-up. He's had multiple Final Fours in Virginia and the state of Georgia. He's going to talk to you today about our inside ISO and our multiple audible wishbone offense, as well as the beginning of a few complementary plays off of that. What I want to do is remind you, hey, let's go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We did a good job last week. If you're not subscribed right now, like I said, about 70% of you that are watching aren't subscribed. You're going to have some things that you'll be able to achieve and you'll be able to obtain from us that you won't be able to get unless you are a subscriber. So hit that button. And without further delay, let's go ahead and turn this over to Coach Bob Christmas.
Good evening, coaches. Welcome to our Run the Damn Ball session for this week. You've been listening to Dave Bishop, and I appreciate you taking the time to be here tonight. It's an honor for me to be able to share with you, coaches. Kind of hard for me to believe, but this fall I will be coaching my 48th season, 45 of those as a head high school coach. In all likelihood, it'll probably be my final season. I still have a passion for the game, but if I coach, it will be assisting someone else and helping them. But I feel very, very blessed to have been called into this profession, or to have chosen this profession, because it is a profession that I truly love. I've never had to motivate myself to go into work each day. Football's been something that I wake up thinking about in the morning. I look forward to getting into school and to be around the kids and to motivate them and to strategize and scheme and prepare and to be around my coaches. It's just been a passion of mine. But tonight I want to talk to you guys about an offense that I've been, I guess, developing and fine-tuning for about 40 years. I call it the multiple audible wishbone offense. And many of you probably seen some of the videos on our eCoach In YouTube channel. And if you have, you immediately recognize that this is not a typical wishbone offense centered around the triple option of the fullback dive. The fullback dive option. Our brand of the wishbone is just different. And it probably utilizes more split back, power eye, some wing T concepts, and some wishbone stuff. We do run the dive option, and sometimes it's triple option, sometimes it's double option. But I began developing this back in the late 70s and early 80s when I got the idea of running the ball at the weakness of the defense by calling it at the line of scrimmage. And there's nothing more demoralizing to a defense than to have the opponent's offense pick up consecutive first downs, drive down the field, eat up the clock, and end the drive with a score. And I think the key is just running it at the weakness of the defense so that every down is a positive yardage play, no wasted plays. I've not done this, but I think if I went back and charted our offense over the years, other than maybe some penalties or a busted play, I would say that virtually maybe no negative yardage plays. And the way we were able to do that is simply run the ball at the defense's weakness. It's like this. Coach, how would you like to be able to go out on the field on Friday night and stand behind the huddle? When the huddle breaks and they get up and you see how the defense lines up, and then be able to tell the quarterback, okay, run this play and run it right there. And that's exactly what we have in the multiple audible wishbone. The quarterback simply becomes an extension of you, and it's like you're standing out there calling the plays. We have types of plays that we run. And the quarterback has a simple pre-snap read for each type of play, and then he determines the point of attack. Let me try to go to presentation mode here. I struggle with this stuff some, but let me try. And all right, I think I got it. All right, so this little house right here kind of represents our offense. The foundation are blast and dives. Now I put smash down there, which is just a blast, but with 2 lead blockers. Kind of your power football out of the wishbone, but really your blast and your dives are your base, your foundation, and then your traps and your options and your play action passes are your complementary plays off of the foundation of blast and dives. And then we've got our draws, our screens, and our reverses. I call them our gadget plays that are part of our offense and that we run every week. Now, we may add, some kind of trick play from week to week. But again, the 5 basic plays that we run are dive, blast, traps, options, and smashes. And I will simply signal the quarterback the type of play I want. And so we've got no huddle capability here. But whether we're huddle or no huddle, I signal the quarterback the type of play I want. And sometimes, in fact, oftentimes, the direction I want it to go, either right or left. And then he determines the point of attack. And obviously, if we were going no huddle, I would signal in the formation first because we are multiple in formations. I'll talk about that in a minute. But the key is having angles up front and or numbers at the point of attack. And as I said before, each type of play has a very simple pre-snap quarterback read, and it's based on having the angles or the numbers. And so again, that quarterback is just, in essence, an extension of you, like you're standing behind the play and telling them where to run it. And at a later session, I'm going to really get into some details about the fundamentals of the offense. I do need to give you just a few, just basics of the offense, and then I want to get into just a couple of plays. But we are multiple in formation. You're going to see a lot of 2 tight end, 3 back stuff, and man, when we're clicking, I really like it out of that for a variety of reasons. I think 2 tight ends gives a defense a little bit of trouble. I think it limits what they do, but we'll talk about that later. But we also have 1 back and 2 back formations. We're also balanced sometimes, we're unbalanced sometimes. We're variable in our line splits. We'll go tight splits, max splits, and flex splits, which, again, we'll get into what they are later. We've also got base rules. And they apply from the backside guard through the play side tackle. And the base rules are inside gap, on over, inside or backside linebacker. And even the inside gap could be the backside gap for the center. But we've got 2 overriding principles that will supersede these base rules. One is the hot number principle. If you're a lineman and your number is called, it supersedes your base rules, and you simply will block the first level 1 defender inside your nose. And that could be, if I'm a right guard, it could be a 2-eye, it could be a 1 technique, it could be a 0 technique, whoever the first level 1 defender inside my nose is. If you're a tackle, same thing. It could be a 4-eye, it could be a 3 technique, it could be a 2-eye. Whoever the first level 1 defender inside your nose, that's who you're going to block if you are hot. All right. Cold number principle. If the quarterback calls a play that is in the gap to your inside, then you forego your base rules and you apply your cold principle. That rule is inside, on, outside, outside. The second outside being a level 2. First outside would be the first guy. Outside of you, level 1. If there's not someone there, then it's outside level 2. Okay. let's go ahead and look at some plays here. Start off, I want to look at the inside blast versus an even front. Okay, we run it versus an even or an odd front, and blocking rules are a little bit different. But the rules are the same, but the blocks are a little bit different. All right, so right here, we're running the inside blast. It's versus an even front. The center's rule is block the first level one defender for him backside. And so right here, you would normally get a double team on that nose, but the center has given the guard a switch call, which basically tells him, I got him, you fold around me. Everybody else is applying their base rules. Now, you'll notice that the play side receiver is going to rip and wall from level 2 to level 3. The backside tackle and receiver are going to scoop release and execute a funnel technique, which we'll talk about that later also. I want to talk about the mechanics right here of the backfield. All right. The fullback is going to take a slide step in the direction of the play. So we're running the play to the right. He takes his right foot, he takes a slide step, and then he is going to blast block the inside linebacker running through the A-gap. The right halfback is the ball carrier. We're running a blast to the right. He takes a slide step to the inside, and he becomes in tandem with the fullback and executes what we call a freeze technique. The bottom line, and we can talk about the technique and how we work on it later, is we want him to get to the goal line. We tell our players the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. And so we want him to hit it hard and to come off of that blast block and to get north again. Backside halfback, he is going to direction step to the right with his right foot in this case, run toward the sideline, but gain a little bit of depth as he runs. So by the time he were to get to the end of the formation, he would be about a yard deeper than where he lined up. And then it is his responsibility to keep pitch relationship with the quarterback all the way down the field. Now, our pitch relationship is 5 yards outside the quarterback and 2 yards deep of the quarterback. Okay. So that's our inside blast versus an even front. Now, let's look at it on some video here. All right, I believe I call a blast left here. And we've got, it looks like a one technique on top or maybe a 2-eye, and you got a 3 technique on the bottom. So he's calling the right play right here if he calls the inside blast to the left. All right, let's see what happens. And you look at the footwork. See, he's calling it there. The backs get down. Slide steps, execute a freeze technique, get north, and we get 10 yards out of that. All right. Okay, can't remember if I called a blast right or a blast left here. I'm going to assume it's a blast left. Looks like we got a 3 technique again. Let's see what ends up being. It is. We got a 3 technique. We hit that and head north and get a nice gain out of it. Look at it one more time here. Center would be blocking back. Now, if that's a 3 technique backside, he goes for the linebacker. Okay, doesn't do a very good job there, does he? Let's watch one more. Looks like we got a 5 technique. If I call it to the right, it'd be a blast right. And that's what we got right there. And we hit it hard north and ends up good looking play. All right. Now, versus an odd front. Now our right guard knows that he is hot. Everybody else is applying their base rules. Backside tackle and receiver are scoop releasing and funneling. Okay. The play side receiver is ripping and walling. And the term wall for us is to keep someone outside of you from getting inside. And we always work for the upfield shoulder, make them run around you to get to pursue the ball. But our right guard here is hot now, so he blocks the first level one defender inside his nose, which, you know, makes this a double team block. The mechanics of the backfield are exactly the same. Okay? All right, let's see what we have here. So if I called a blast left, it looks like we got a 0 technique and a 5 technique. And I'm assuming that's what I called. If I called a blast right, he'd probably run treat it like it's an even front. But if it's a blast left, let's see what we run here. Yep, blast left, nice blast block, and picked up about 8 yards. Now you can tell this is playoffs late in the season. Bermuda grass is dead. All right, now right here, kind of interesting. They're trying to stop our inside game, probably our little inside quick trap, which I'm going to show you in a minute. So it looks like they got a couple of A-gap players and then nothing all the way out to the C-gap. Okay, so let's see what we run here. If we run it down to the bottom here, I would say for sure it's going to be treating this like an odd front. That left guard is going to be hot. But let's see. Yep. Makes for a nice play right there. And again, the back is accelerating north. All right. Hard to tell from these angles whether this is a 4 technique or a 5 technique here. Pretty much looks like a 0, but I would say we got a 5 on both sides. Let's see what it looks like here. So called blast left here. And it looks like that 5 technique is pinching. But we get our heads on the inside of him. Left tackle does a pretty good job right there. And we've got a hole right there where we want to run it. The back being, this back was a great back. He just gets in that seam back to the backside there. Our quick inside trap is a great complementary play off the inside blast. From a defensive standpoint, it looks just like you're running the inside blast at them, but instead you're running a little counter quick trap. A few little differences. Instead of the fullback taking a slide step, he runs directly through the inside heel of the pulling guard, and he'll pick anyone who may be coming down the heel line right there. He's a bowling ball, just running his track, again, through the inside heel of the pulling guard. The ball carrier, in this case, is the left halfback. He takes a vertical step with his outside foot, and then his next step is directly at the butt of the center. And we want him to get north after he comes off that little wall coming down. We want him to turn north again. Backside halfback, again, carries out his option track, which is 5x2. Quarterback's going to reverse out at 6 o'clock, 2 quick steps. The exchange actually takes place behind the fullback, so defense doesn't even see the exchange, and then the quarterback is down the line. Now, as far as the blocking rules, we tell our team to apply their base rules with one exception. If your base rule takes you to the man we are trapping, and who are we trapping? We're trapping the first level 1 defender beyond the center. So if your base rule takes you to that man we're trapping, then you go to your next rule. You go to level 2. So let's take a look at a few of these and see what it looked like. All right, out of 2 splits right here. We got a 3 technique on the bottom, so I'm sure that's probably where we're running. All right, now That's great. That back did a great job of getting north right there. You can see their 3 technique does a heck of a job of closing right here. See him? And what our left guard, our pulling guard, does a fantastic job of, instead of stopping in the hole, he logs that guy, and the back's got his head up, and he sees the seam and makes a nice play out of it. We'll look at a couple of these, and then we'll move on. All right, we're running this out of our rocks formation. Kind of interesting here. I called a inside trap, and they gave us two eyes. So we're running it down to the bottom down here. So this 2-eye right here is the guy we're trapping. So our left guard's got to go to the next level. So he kind of slips off this guy on an out and up step. And then this guy runs upfield, and we get a nice trap block. And again, you can see the back's getting north. All right. There it is right there. This little back does a great job of making people miss him. All right. Let's move on and look at another complementary play off the inside blast. All right, this is our full flow trap, and it's an off-tackle trap. Now, the tight end's rule is block the first offender inside your nose. All right, so in this case, he's got a 4 or a 5 technique right there, so he's blocking down on him because he's the first offender inside his nose. So you end up with a double team block there. Now, if that's a 4-eye, that tackle is going to give that tight end an easy call, and it's going to send him straight to that backer. Okay. Now, if he's a 4, if he's head up, we give the tackle the flexibility of a no call or an easy call, depending on whether or not he knows he can make that block. All right. The mechanics of the backfield are identical for the fullback, the play side halfback, to the inside blast. Slide step, tandem, run in there hard. Quarterback reverse it 2 steps, extend, ride, pull. We tell him ride him as far as he can reach him. Then you're down the line, actually into the line to get to that mesh point, because the backside halfback executes what we call a 3-step cut. We work on it every day. 1, 2, plant. All right. And then we're running the outside cheek of the play side tackle. All right. Look at a couple of these. Oh, let's look at it right here. I drew it up versus a 4-3 look. To show you on the Y, he's got the first offender inside his nose. So the first offender inside his nose this time is a Sam backer. So he in and up steps on that Sam backer right there. Okay. All right, let's see if we get a good ride out of the quarterback. Really make it look like a inside blast. Not bad, not bad. All right, that's 12 yards. We'll take that all day long. All right, we're in an unbalance now. It's an over right. That's where our tackle goes over to the right. And we're going to fake the inside blast, good ride, step down the line and give it. Okay, pick up 7 or 8 yards there. We'll take it. Let's go. Let's look at one more here. All right, let's go to the 2-back set. Okay, we can run the same play out of a 2-back set. All right, in this case, we're in an unbalanced slot. This is our right ray formation. All right, there is no back to hand it to, so the quarterback becomes the 3rd back. And that's the only difference. Quarterback knows that he's the ball carrier if we're in a 2-back set. Okay. A couple of these. All right, we're in an unbalanced slot to the right ray. We're going to fake the inside blast. Quarterback rides him as far as he can ride him up into the line. And there he goes right there. And he was an athlete, so he saw that seam and got backside. All right. All right. We're in the right ray again. Different quarterback. Rides him up in there. And he does an equally good job. Different quarterback, same year. We had two pretty good ones that year. Let's look at maybe one more here. All right, look at one more. All right, so what we've got here, now we still got a right ray. I was going to show it to you against some different formations. We run it out of a variety of formations. What a trap block that is. Look at the play side guard here. I gotta run this back. See if it'll run it back. Now watch play side guard right here on this wide 9 technique. Well, you like to have a trap block like that. Coaches, we're out of time. I want to thank you for tuning in tonight. I really enjoyed it. And just, guys, keep doing what you're doing. Make a difference in these men's lives. And hopefully I'll see you on here in a week or two. But have a good evening. God bless.
Thanks, Coach Christmas. What a great opportunity for us to hear from him. Guys, he has been running this thing for the longest time and has been successful no matter where he has gone with it. And it's been in the state of Virginia, been in the state of Georgia, multiple schools. Next week, he'll be back again talking to you about a few more of the complementary plays off the inside ISO in the multiple audible wishbone. One last time, let me remind you, go ahead and hit subscribe. Hey, until then, RTDB, baby.